This is Talkin Hoopz, the show that discusses real NBA stories, gives you all the latest rumors, and gets you into heated debates.
It's dunks and layups. How many of his points have been jump shots? 0.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
0.
It's not happening. Not in this NBA. Maybe in the fantasy NBA that they're playing in, but not in this NBA.
We're going to challenge each other in practice.
We talking about practice, not a game.
Once the game starts, it's going to be easy.
You better get off whatever you're smoking.
Strap in, get your popcorn, put your headphones on.
This is Talkin Hoopz.
It's really good to checking out Talkin Hoopz.
Talkin Hoopz.
Talkin Hoopz, the official talk show of NBRPA Miami.
Talkin Hoopz starts right now.
Talkin Hoopz. TalkinHoops.com. AJ and Mark Strickland hanging with you for the show. As always, no Kyle tonight. Not going to be with us, but still a lot of good stuff happening on the show. NBRPA Miami chapter, NBRPAMiami.com. We'll talk Luol Deng and the Chicago Bulls. We'll talk Allen Iverson. Aaron McKee joined us earlier. That was a great interview, and a lot more stuff. And a funny segment, we'll get into that. Some player lookalikes, celebrity player lookalikes. All that and more. But Strick, as I always like to ask, how's it going, man? How was your weekend? How was everything?
Good, man. Weekend was good. Just watched some football. Everything was football this weekend, so got some football in. It was interesting. So, but everything's good.
All right, that's good. That's good. That's what I like to hear. Good stuff. Yeah, nothing too exciting on my end, but that's the Jersey life, man. It's not the Miami life. It doesn't work like that here.
So. Rain every day here lately. It's been raining, AJ. Every day it rains. Some part of the day it's gonna rain.
Yeah, but then it clears up, right?
Nah, but then it comes right back. So you can't keep your car clean.
All right. Well, look, we got a lot to get to on the show. A lot of good stuff, and let's start with Luol Deng. Okay, Luol Deng. Guys having contract stalls with the Chicago Bulls. First of all, Mark, just flat off, you've been in those situations, I'm sure, as a player. How long does it take for guys to get on the same page here with their agents, their contracts, and everything? What's the deal?
It's usually, the agent wants a number, and then the team only can afford a certain amount of numbers. It's just like a guessing game. Everybody's trying to figure out how much they could get. I think that's it. I don't think they should screw around with Luol Deng. He's a real big important piece to what they're doing. He's a great defensive player, especially against LeBron. That's why they always seem to beat the Heat when they play him, because they put him on because he's so long. I think LeBron has problem with guys that are like his height and that are long like him, Josh Smith. Those type of guys guard him pretty well. So I think they should get this settled, because if anybody else get in, they're gonna get a gem.
Definitely. Well, look, if you don't have Luol Deng on the Bulls, I mean, the other option is what? This guy he doesn't re-sign with the team, I guess, when he's a free agent the next season, or you trade him, and you could get some good talent for a guy like Luol Deng, I would think. But if Luol Deng's not on this team, that's kind of a big hit for Chicago. No, I mean, does that take them out of our fourth spot? We have them ranked going like in the third spot in the playoffs here.
Yeah. That's a big hit for him. I mean, offensively, he can shoot threes. He can create his own shot. He's a big part of what they're doing. For a minute, he was carrying them for a while. It was all like the Luol Deng show, pretty much. I like him defensively. He's great. I like what he brings to the table on that end, offensively as well. He's a good player for them. I don't see the contract thing being stalled for too long. It's probably they just want a certain number and they're trying to max out a certain thing. They'll probably stall for a couple of weeks, and then get it done. Yeah, and get it done. I don't see them dragging it out all year. No.
Now in the playoffs, Deng had 13, almost 14 points a game. Almost 8 rebounds, 3-some assists.
Not healthy too.
Yeah, not healthy.
He wasn't healthy this year. Yeah, and he still had good numbers.
Yeah, he did. I know he did a great job against the Knicks when they was playing Carmelo Anthony. I know he did. The Knicks, that was the one team I was afraid to play in the playoffs, believe it or not. Not necessarily. I know the Pacers beat them, but I didn't want to play Chicago mainly because of this guy. So, and they didn't even have Derrick Rose. So the fact that this guy was tearing it up in Chicago without D. Rose, that says a lot about him. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, they got Jimmy Butler, but he's not Luol Deng. He's a great player, but he's not Luol Deng. He's not Luol Deng.
Nah, he's not long enough, not consistent enough. He's a bulldog though on defense, and when he's making his shot, he helps them out tremendous a lot. But
Right.
I don't think he's consistent enough. I think over time he'll be consistent, but you know, he's not a Luol Deng. No, by no means. No.
If you're Luol Deng, all right,
Yeah.
you got the skill set, you got the talent, you got the numbers. I mean, what do you think a fair contract here is? Because they're not releasing any numbers, but if you're, let's put, Mark's the GM right now, okay?
Yeah.
Mark's the GM right now. What are we looking at with Luol Deng, you thinking? 60 mil?
Man. Yeah, he's worth 60. I'll give him 60. He's not a max guy now. He's not a max guy, but
Okay.
he's somewhere 50, 60. He's somewhere in that range, 50, 60. I mean, that's pretty good for him. I mean, you know, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's
So I think he's in that range. I don't think he'll get max unless he goes somewhere like the Bobcats or something. But
right.
I don't see that happening.
I don't know what. I don't think the Bobcats are getting anybody. You know, I think their big move was Al Jefferson, and that was it. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think they can do anything else. But
Maybe
yeah,
they're
like
trying to make a push for LeBron.
yeah, I don't even actually. That goes back to my theory. I think everybody should just unite in Charlotte, make Michael Jordan look amazing, and you know,
Yeah,
if LeBron goes to Charlotte,
that's wishful thinking.
If LeBron James goes to Charlotte, Michael Jordan looks like the best
follow,
GM.
for sure. Yeah, people will follow for sure. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right. Another guy is actually free agent, and we'll go back. We'll switch to your beloved Heat, as you like to call my Knicks, my beloved Knicks. We'll go to your beloved Heat. Michael Beasley could be headed back to Miami.
Wow.
Do you like that?
He can score. I like his game. I think it's just his off-court antics, man. You know what I mean? He's kind of like got some things going on off the court, as far as people around him, those type of things. But I think he's cleaned all that up. Once he went to, I know he was in Phoenix this past year. I think when he went to Minnesota, they kind of cleaned all that up.
Well,
and he's focused now. He had a good year last year. He's out, so he can shoot threes. He's definitely an offensive scorer. He showed that in college, and he's been showing it in the league. I mean, he'd be a good somebody to bring off the bench and have a legitimate scorer on that second squad if we get him. Yeah, I
hate to break it to you right now, but he had one incident in Phoenix which I think caused them to say enough with Michael Beasley. He got pulled over speeding, and they found, I'm 99% sure, marijuana in the back of his car or something like that. And he was
having a problem down here with marijuana.
Yeah,
and he had a problem with it before he got in the league.
Marijuana. This is, it's not. It's fun in baseball. It's all steroids. In basketball, it's all marijuana. It's all look. Lamar Odom's doing the whole thing. J.R. Smith's got 5 games for marijuana. Michael Beasley's getting caught with marijuana, and it's just, I don't know what the deal is, man. I don't get. Was it like this when you played? Were all these guys doing stuff like this when you played?
No, we ain't had too many issues. I think when I first got in the league, there were no rules, and then these type of things started happening where people were getting caught.
Right.
And I think it was like Cliff Robinson and then a couple of other people one summer, and they was just like, okay, we're fed up with this. Then it was like, okay, we're going to test them one time a year. We knew when the test was.
Right.
So it was like doing training camp. But it didn't stop these young guys. So now it's like random drug tests. But it seems as though, some guys just don't care. They're like, okay,
it is what
I'll take the suspension, come back, and I'm still going to do it. So, it doesn't matter. But
I mean, also, when these guys are injured, they're taking drugs. They're taking things. You would think that they know that they're going to be tested more frequently. I mean, this is like, people are putting stuff in your body to help you get better. Something's going to happen. Something's going to go down. So, I don't know, but I think Beasley's the biggest name now out there in free agency. So, any team that gets him, hopefully he doesn't have any problems, but
I hope not. He's a good player.
He is a good player. I like Beasley, Actually, it's weird. A lot of people, they he's a second overall pick. A lot of people kind of think he's a bust because he really hasn't amounted to that second overall pick status. Yeah. But, I think...
he's always high.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's a fair statement, actually. But, I don't know. veterans, they said on Miami they were okay with it. They want him to come back. They were liking it. It's apparent that he wants to come back to Miami. He thinks it's a good spot for him. But I don't know. I mean, the Heat, to bring in a guy like that, I don't know. You want to mess up something?
What they'll do is probably put somebody with him to follow him around, kind of be like a counselor for him, someone to watch out to him, put somebody with him to make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do. That's what a lot of teams have to do sometimes. Especially when you're investing in somebody, and the Heat is trying to win a three-peat. This will be the first time in a while somebody's three-peat. They got a good opportunity to do so. So they don't want to bring in any, bad apples into the mix. And I think that with those veteran guys that they have, and him having an opportunity, just like they're saying, Greg Oden is motivated now because he's on a good team, he's with a good organization. Maybe Beasley will see that it's his second chance to play for, win a championship, and he's with an organization that cares about him, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have drafted him. So, I mean, you rarely get second chances to play with another team, and they bring you back with open arms. And I think this would be an opportunity that he should take advantage of, especially since the guys on the team are open to bringing him back, and giving him opportunity to be a part of what they got going.
Well, they say no deal is imminent, but Pat Riley.
You never know. You never know.
Pat Riley, you never know. You never know. There is a roster spot. There is a roster spot. So, it's there if he wants it, I think. And, I think come closer to the season, we may see him in a Heat uniform. And I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
Look, he's a talent. At the end of the day, he's a talent.
Definitely a basketball talent.
Yeah, he's worth taking a risk on. And, but there's another guy, pretty good player at one point, actually, who had some off-the-court issues, and that's Allen Iverson. And, Allen Iverson, great player, great talent, had some issues off the court, but getting that cleared up a little bit. We talked to Aaron McKee, TalkinHoops.com, spoke with former 76er, teammate of Allen Iverson, and assistant coach for the 76ers, Aaron McKee, and he had some good stuff to say about Iverson, just kind of for the negative rep that he had. Aaron McKee really shed some light on the situation. This is what Aaron McKee actually had to say about Allen Iverson.
Well, I always tell him that his biggest downfall is his heart. He has a huge heart, and just what I touched on in playing for my hometown, where you got family and friends and all kinds of people pulling you in different directions, he never understood how to say no. And that's something that is a blessing for you, where you're able to help people out and you're able to be there for them. But when you get stressed out too much, kind of takes your focus off of the things that you really need to be concentrating on. And that's one of the things I think to this day, he still has a huge heart and he's trying to be there for everybody. And, people can look at it the way they want to look at it and say, say the negative things that they want about him. But me knowing personally and on the inside, he has a huge heart and he's very sensitive.
So he's got a sensitive side. He's got a big heart. He said all the right things. And you know what? No one knows it better than Aaron, because he played with the guy for X amount of years. I think it was like 8 seasons.
Friends, They were also good friends on the team. I was blessed enough to know Aaron and play college with Aaron, and got a couple of autographs from Allen Iverson in their locker room after games because they were such good friends. I agree with Aaron. He changed the face of the game. He brought the little guard back into the game. You didn't have to be, at that time, I think everybody was searching for that next, Penny Hardaway, that 6'8" Magic Johnson type point guard, because Penny was hot at that time. Then Allen Iverson came in and kind of, it's back to the little guys, and everybody watches that, one-on-one against Michael Jordan, the crossover, and then another crossover, and then he makes the basket. It just shows that, he was small, but he was tenacious. He had a big heart. The off-the-court issues, I just felt like, sometimes, man, family and your friends, sometimes it's good, but when you make a lot of money, man, it wears on you after a while. And I think that's what happened to him. All that off-the-court stuff just kind of caught up with him.
Right.
But great player, changed the face of the game, somewhat like the Fab Five did for college with the long shorts and the black socks,
right,
and those type of things. It just kept people, interested in the NBA, and I think people don't give him that type of credit because Allen Iverson really did keep a lot of people interested in the NBA.
Well, Aaron McKee, he pretty much agrees with you, and this is what he had to say about playing with Allen Iverson.
It was great. I think he was a dynamo. A lot of people don't give him credit for his ability to think the game. You look at the athletic part of it and the things he was able to do for his size, being 6 foot, going in, throw his body around, score, finish at the basket, play at a high energy level night in and night out. And he never really got the credit for the way he was able to, think the game. I know there were times that we could be down 20 points in the game, and it could be the third quarter or the fourth quarter, and you could always look at him and say, "Come on, guys, we're gonna win this game." He looked you dead in the eyes and say, "We're gonna win this game," and that's huge. When your best player always feel like you got a chance to win a game, and it injects life into your life.
Well, there you go. So he looks at Iverson as a leader on the floor, as a teammate. I mean, this guy was the real deal. And, for such a negative rep that this guy had in the media, a lot of times you hear from a guy sitting right next to him every day how great of a person he is and what a great teammate he was. It just shows you that the media just looks too much into things and just blows things up when this guy, he's a legend. The guy is honestly a legend.
Yes, he is. He's definitely a legend. I looked up to him when he played. He did some amazing things. When I was playing with Atlanta, I remember he came to shoot around and he wasn't out there, and we asked, "Well, where's AI?" he was in the locker room throwing up. They were saying, "Man, he just came from the club, man. Straight from the club to the bus. He was throwing up at shoot around, and that night he gave us 34 points and 18 assists, like it wasn't nothing." I mean, I know it's not good to promote that type of hanging out and that type of thing, but it was amazing some of the things that this guy could do. I mean, if he would have lived his life a little differently outside the court, or maybe cut down on some of the partying and some of the access stuff that he was doing off the court, man.
Right.
I think he would have been like, we would have been talking about him like a LeBron, and that Jordan and Kobe, that type of that group of people.
Boy, Mark, you got a real knack for this. This is perfect. You keep leading into every clip we got here with Aaron McKee and Allen Iverson, because we asked Aaron about if his jersey was going to get retired, if Allen Iverson's jersey was going to be retired by the 76ers, and not only did he say that, and you'll hear, not only did he say that it was going to be retired, but he's up there right with the elite players in history, in NBA history. So, and this is what Aaron McKee had to say about Allen Iverson's jersey.
Oh, absolutely. They don't retire that jersey, then there's something wrong with that. To me, behind Michael Jordan, Dr. J, and those guys transcended the game. He transcended the game. I mean, he brought the little guard back in the game, and not to take anything away from Nate Archibald, anything like that. Nate Archibald did it before AI did it, but he transcended the game. And when I say that, I'm talking in terms of swag, playing with the braids, the tattoos, and it allowed people to feel free and be themselves out on the court.
It's interesting also at the end, you heard him say about the tattoos and all that stuff, and had people be able to express themselves the way they want to express themselves on the court. When we interviewed Stack, when Stack came on the show, he said the white boys were wearing all the cornrows because of this guy. So, this guy just changed everything. Everything, not just basketball, but the way just people look at the game from outside, off the court, just how people are. Everyone wanted to be this guy.
Yeah, just like I said before, and just like Aaron said, it's like, this guy was an amazing player. I think at that time, before Allen came in, the league was trying to get that, squeaky clean type image. Everybody was in suits and ties and clean cut.
Right.
I actually think that was in a lot of teams' rule books. You couldn't have long facial hair, or you couldn't have braids, or you couldn't have mohawks. And I think he kind of changed that because what were they gonna do at the time? The NBA couldn't really change. What were they going to do? Were they going to say, "Hey, man, you can't play unless you wear a suit"? He was one of the most popular and most dynamic players in the league at that time. Most exciting to watch. He's dunking. He's a little guy going in and dunking over guys. He's hitting threes. One year led his team to play the Lakers in the finals. So, it's just, he's just an amazing player. He's definitely one of the top players during that era when he played. I just felt like, man, it could have been lasting a little bit longer. I really don't like the way he went out, but I mean, overall,
I don't understand the way he went out, Mark. I don't understand how that happens.
Man, it was just like, it's kind of like you took a guy, man, that was one of the top players in the league, and kind of made him like a showpiece. You know what I mean? Like he went from like just a regular guy on the team, barely minutes. People really didn't want to sign him. I mean, it was just sad the way he went out. But definitely one of the top players that I played against, and one of the top players that ever played a game for sure.
Yeah, he has career averages 26.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 6.2 assists per game. Career.
That's big. Big for a little guy like that. Big. And he used to play hurt a lot.
Yeah.
He played with a lot of ailments. A lot of people didn't know he was injured certain times. But, you couldn't really tell because when he got out there on the court, he really did pour his heart out on the court.
If you're 6 feet and you're grabbing almost 4 rebounds a game in the NBA, in my opinion, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Tough. And he's not even a big 6 foot, or 5'10", 5'10", 5'11". He's a thin dude. He's a tiny, thin dude.
About 120.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. And his career season high was 33 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, almost 8 assists, 7.9 assists per game. That was his season high. I mean, this guy was the real deal. He really was. And he played with Larry Brown. He had a good coach. He had his share of Jim O'Brien. He had his share of coaches over his career that definitely helped him out a little bit. But at the same time, this guy was he invented so many things. Just even his sneakers were hot. Everyone just wanted this guy's shoes, the AIs, the Reebok. I mean, this guy was more than just a basketball player. I really, really think that, he has to get his jersey retired,
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, he set the image for the league. I mean, his image is everywhere at one point in time, and he really kept, like I said, he kept people interested in the NBA. When you have somebody like that keeps people drawn into the game, keep people watching the game. At one time, a lot of people were watching Philly games, and all because of Allen Iverson. I mean, even my cousins at the time were just crazy about Allen Iverson. He just came from a different place. He kept it original. He was himself. And he went out and played hard every night, and you could see it in his numbers.
Right. And then he gets traded to Detroit after his years with Carmelo Anthony in Denver. He goes to Detroit for Chauncey Billups. And all of a sudden, he's coming off the bench for them. He's not being like the starter. I didn't understand that at all. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
That kind of hurt his pride a little bit. I think that hurt his pride a lot.
Because he wasn't a bench player.
Downhill from there. Once he went to Denver, after Denver, it was kind of downhill from there.
Yeah, and I didn't understand it because he wasn't a bench player at that point. He still wasn't a bench player at that point. And I didn't like the coaches in Detroit at that time. What did they have? Schuster, and then they got Michael Curry. I don't really think he kind of put Iverson back in the spotlight, which was the right move. That team just didn't work out. But the guy Schuster before Michael Curry, that wasn't the right guy for that team. I mean, no one respected that coach. He had no control over the players, nothing. And then he goes to Memphis or whatever, and again, he didn't get a shot at Memphis either. It's like, why are you bringing this guy? Yeah. They give him a guitar at the press conference. That was his big gift from the city of Memphis. You get this guitar, whatever. Yeah. And I'm thinking this guy's gonna put up some big numbers with Rudy Gay and everybody, Zach Randolph, everybody else. No, he doesn't even play. Plays 3 minutes a game. I mean, what did they want him to mentor people? No, that wasn't gonna happen. This is Allen Iverson.
Not at that age. Not at that time. I mean, they just kind of buried him, basically.
Yeah, and then you know what? My feeling with players that go overseas, if they're not completely accepting of going overseas, it's not going to work.
No, you got to be completely all the way into it. I did that after my career, played overseas, and once you go overseas and you're there, you got to really look at it as, okay, this is what I'm going to do. You can't be thinking about, okay, I'm going to come just for a minute and get back into the league. You got to really be into playing ball overseas because it's your life.
Right.
It's no more just jumping on the plane and coming right home in, an hour or two. It's going to take you a day to get home. You know what I mean? So, it's just one of those downfalls, man, pitfalls of players, man. I guess those coaches, the coaches in Detroit really didn't know how to deal with Allen Iverson. I think a lot of people paid too much of the off the court antics and not what he did on the court.
Yeah,
at that particular time. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, he will definitely have his jersey retired, and there really is something wrong if they don't. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Might get a statue. Needs a statue.
In Philly, for sure. In Philadelphia, for sure. Even when he returned, he was like kissing the floor. He loved that city. He loved that city. And they loved him.
Yeah.
You know? They were lucky to have a guy like Allen Iverson. They really were. Yeah. And he showed up a lot of people. He crossed over Jordan. That video plays in my head like 100 times over and over again.
Crossed over Jordan. Yeah. Called it out, too. Wanted it.
He did. And not only did he cross him over, he nailed the shot.
Yeah.
So
it was all about finishing. It was the play.
It was all worth it. It was all worth it. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, Aaron McKee still had some good things to say about Drew Holiday and defending the Andrew Bynum trade with Philadelphia. Stick around. TalkinHoops.com. AJ, Mark Strickland, NBRPA Miami chapter, NBRPAMiami.com. Check them out.
Don't foul out. Talkin Hoops will be right back.
I'm Mark Sanchez with a message for women. This is the actual sound of my heartbeat. I'm sharing my heart to let you know that the symptoms of women's heart attacks can be different from men's. Please learn more. All it takes is a few minutes of your time in return for years of healthy life. That's a deal even my agent couldn't negotiate. Cover your heart. Learn more. CVS cares.
The new free CBS radio app streams your favorite CBS radio stations, as well as all your favorite AOL and Yahoo Music stations directly to your iPhone, iPod Touch, and BlackBerry Bold. With 30 genres of professionally programmed stations at your fingertips, you can hear whatever you want, whenever you want. Stations like K-Rock, 1010 Wins, WFAN, AMP, and over 600 others. Now you can easily take your favorite stations with you on the go. The CBS radio app is everything you wanted from streaming radio and a whole lot more. Go to cbsradio.com/mobile to download your app today.
This is AJ, and you're checking out Talkin Hoops, where you can hear the true legends of basketball. If you missed any of the action from today's show, you can find the full episode on TalkinHoops.com or YouTube.com/TalkinHoops. And don't forget to follow @TalkinHoops on Twitter and give us a like on Facebook for all the latest around the league.
This week's episode, Bobcat in the Cave.
Gosh, Johnny, playing in the cave sure is neat. Oh boy, a kitty cat. Sassy, the kitty cat's yelling. What, Sassy? It's not a kitty, it's a bobcat? Speaking of cats, you'd like to stress the importance of adopting cats from animal shelters? Over 5 million cats go into animal shelters every year? Millions of healthy cats to choose from. It's a shame more people don't adopt from shelters. This bobcat, Debbie. Help, Sassy! Why bother? We'll just get into more trouble tomorrow? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nuts.
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
My dream is to become a mechanical engineer.
My dream is to be a ballerina.
My dream is to be a veterinarian.
I want to be a chef,
truck driver,
a teacher,
a shoe designer,
professional skateboarder.
But right now,
I'm just a kid.
Just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted.
Ready to be adopted.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted. For the facts about adopting a child from a foster parent, contact the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
Hey guys, this is AJ. Want to talk more hoops? Bring the show in overtime. Check out TalkinHoops.com. Catch you on the rebound.
Welcome back to Talkin Hoops.
About 15 players in the team. 14 get along.
Now here's a guy who likes to dunk on an 8.5-foot rim. Take it away, AJ.
And we are back. Talkin Hoops. TalkinHoops.com. Mark Strickland, AJ with you for the show as always. And look at Mark holding up the AI autograph sticker.
Iverson autograph shoe right after the game.
Wow. Hang on. Keep it up there. Keep it up there. There it is.
Allen Iverson.
I love it. Wow.
Yes, sir. Allen Iverson.
I got those
mine.
shoes.
Somebody better get theirs.
I got those shoes, but I don't have the autograph on it. That's sick.
Yeah, man. I had to get AI. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You cannot. Come on. That's how big this guy was.
That's
I'm
awesome.
in the league, and I'm going to ask a person younger than me for that shoe.
That's amazing. I like it. I
Yeah,
like
man.
it. That's really
Appreciate it.
cool.
Yeah.
What else did he sign?
He signed 2 shoes. He signed this red one. Then he bought out a brand new pair of blue ones, and I had the blue ones together. I gave one of the red ones I actually went in there to get an autograph for a huge fan of his, a friend of mine that was in the music business, and I gave her one, and I kept this red one, and he signed some blue ones for me that was brand new. 1 year at the Zoe Summer Group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look
Pretty
at you.
nice guy.
Look at
Pretty
you.
nice guy.
Big AI fan. Look at you.
Yeah, man. Come on. AI?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, while we're with the Sixers,
Yes.
Aaron McKee, he had some other good things to say, and he did give props to Drew Holiday. We asked him if he'd be a top 5 point guard in the league, and he had some good things to say about Drew. This is what he had to say.
Oh, I definitely think that. From day one, when I've been around him since he stepped foot in the NBA, I think one of the things that he has is he's a gym rat. He loves to get in the gym. He loves to work. He's a student of the game. He loves to study the game and watch different players and stuff like that. And he's young. He's 21 years old. He just got married. Comes from a great family. And I think, for starters, if you could get guys that love to get in the gym and work, then you got a good canvas to build a pretty good player if they're willing to listen and they're willing to work.
Well, Drew Holiday's not Allen Iverson, but he is a pretty damn good player.
Yes, he is. He's a very good player. He just needs some seasoning. Like you say, he's really young. Aaron said he's really young. But he puts up big numbers, and I think if he gets with the right organization, to put somebody there to teach him and to guide him the right way, man, and an organization that focuses on conditioning. I think that's the difference between the Heat and other organizations. If this kid here gets with a team that focuses on weight and body fat, conditioning, recovery, getting rest, those type of things, a lot of those things plays in a factor on how you play on the court. And I think if he gets with an organization that really backs him and is really trying to put players around him or add him onto a team that already has some great pieces, I think he's going to really be a great player.
Yeah, definitely. And, I was surprised, even though Philly went into the rebuild mode this offseason, that they still traded him because he's a great piece to rebuild around. So
great piece.
I don't understand why they got rid of him. I don't get it. And, we
don't
talk
get it at all. He did his job there. I mean, he scored big numbers for him. I mean, he played well for him. Kept him in a lot of playoff series.
Yeah.
Kept them in it. Especially games where I thought where they were going to lose. He hit big shots.
Right.
Just over time, though. I think over time and over a couple of years from now, we'll be talking about him as being one of the top players in the league, especially at point guard.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it just like Thaddeus Young is still on the team. So if you're going to get rid of Drew Holiday, why didn't you get rid of this guy? You already got rid of Iguodala. I'm not knocking. Thaddeus Young's a great player too, but Drew Holiday was clearly the best player on that team last season.
Yeah,
clearly.
for sure. Yeah. He was one of the leaders, and you saw that on the court.
Yeah,
so I didn't understand that move either, but hey, we'll see.
And how often do we argue about Nerlens Noel? We don't really argue. We just agree. I don't think he's got it. Guy was injured in college.
He got a long way to go. Got to get his body right. I mean, I know he's long and he can block shots, but when you playing against guys 270 and 280 and they're just as fast and just as big or bigger than you, it's tough.
Right.
It's tough to guard that.
Right.
It's tough.
And they just traded Drew Holiday for that guy. So and look, maybe he turns out to be something, but I still think Drew Holiday's going to be a better player in the long run than that guy. So
yeah, unless it's going to take him a while off that injury. It's going to take him a while. It takes every player a year or two to come back from an injury completely. So we really won't know they're really not going to know what they're going to have for a couple of years now. Hopefully, barring no setbacks. Sometimes players will have setbacks after injuries, but it's no comparison.
Right. Well, hey, I hit Aaron pretty hard today with the rebuilding situation in Philly. All right, I was not, because you know how I feel about the Magic. I still think they did make out like bandits. They didn't prove themselves, and that's this last cut from Aaron McKee's interview with us this morning. But this is what he had to say about Philadelphia's trade, landing Andrew Bynum in the Dwight Howard deal.
Think about it. I mean, you make a move to try to get a game-changing player.
Right.
And it didn't work out. Now, you can go into a lot of different conversations, but until those guys in Orlando start to produce, it's still up in the air.
Right.
Because, I mean, we always sit up and we talk about young talent. Well, we're waiting for those guys to start turning over and producing. And when they start turning over and producing and becoming studs in the league, then we can revisit the conversation and say, yeah, they made out like bandits. But until then, you just don't know.
Right.
You don't know. And I think Philadelphia took a calculated risk and said, hey, we know this guy got injury issues. We feel like if we can get him and he can be somewhat healthy for us, then we got a pretty good chance of being one of the elite teams in the East. And that's the way everybody looked at it. And so I guess if you had to revisit it and do it all over again, I'm quite sure 70% of the people would do it again.
70% of the people would do it again. I mean, see, here's my thing. If you committed to trading for Andrew Bynum, at least give it 2 years. Don't just let him walk and just say, all right, we're rebuilding. You've committed to this guy. You traded Andre Iguodala. You traded Vucevic, who was up for most improved player of the year. You had Mo Harkless, who's going to be a good player. And granted, Orlando, they're young. Okay, it's going to take time, and like Aaron says, you got to wait till they actually prove themselves. But that's your rebuild right there, with Andrew Bynum as your focal point. Like, I feel like they had a plan and they just totally scratched their plan.
Maybe they knew something that we didn't know. I mean, they saw him. Maybe he wasn't healthy enough for him. Maybe they just didn't want to take that risk anymore or take on any of those problems. Who knows?
Right.
He lost me when he came with the afro, and then all of a sudden it went from an afro to something James Brown would wear, and he's not even playing. So that was confusing. That was confusing to me a lot. So once I saw that, I was like, oh no. He's not thinking about basketball. He's not thinking about coming back this year, man. It's a wasted of a trade. So I guess they want to bring in some players there. I mean, a lot of teams are on the rebuilding, including Orlando, who got those pieces. But I do agree with Aaron. When you're doing a trade, and I've been lucky enough to coach in the D League and be around a lot of NBA people. And when you're thinking about a trade, you don't know how it's going to go. You never know how it's going to go, even when you're trading for a big-time player. You never know how that's going to work out. I mean, look at Carmelo Anthony. I know he's the face of the Knicks, but I know the Knicks probably felt like, or most of the diehard Knicks fans feel like, they should have been in at least playing for the conference finals, or at least playing in the finals for a championship by now. When you have that type of roster, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Just like we always talk about Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire, it's just not going to work.
Right.
But they didn't know that. They just thought, hey, Amari Stoudemire is killing. If we add Carmelo with that, we got two players that are killing. Let's build around that and make something happen. But sometimes it doesn't work out. But we'll see how he does in Cleveland. Hopefully he'll do better in Cleveland, and we'll see what happens. We'll be seeing different tools during the season.
In Carmelo Anthony's defense,
yes,
because they are my beloved Knicks.
Yes, they are.
He does stay healthy. You got to give him that. The guy plays through elbow injuries.
He plays hard. I like Carmelo. I like him there. I just don't like that they get into, like I told you, they get into to their points in the game.
Right.
Where the Knicks need to move the ball from side to side. I don't care if Carmelo Anthony can shoot every ball, but at least let the ball go around the horn first before you go into, or let the shot clock be going down, and then okay, let's get Melo the ball. Let's see if he can work something. But they don't even. Sometimes, a lot of times, the Knicks don't even try to work the offense, to try to get the defense even tired. Come down, jack up shot. Come down, ISO Carmelo. Come down, ISO Carmelo.
Right.
Like, that's not going to win games all the time. It's just not. Because eventually what's going to happen is what I call the Kobe syndrome. After a while, those shots are not going to start falling, and then he's going to start passing. And the teammates are going to be like, okay, like, what are we going to do now? Like, we've been watching you all night, and now you want us to shoot the ball?
Right.
So it's just a tough situation, but I'm looking forward to the Knicks being better this year. I hope they're much better this year.
Yeah. Well, while we're on, let's segue right into the Knicks. Actually, they had a workout together. A couple of the players from the team, Udre, I think Tyson was there, Amari, CJ Leslie, I think Shumpert was there, and they said Felton was going to be joining them later in the week or something like that. So, but look, Amari, it's a great sign to see Amari out there. It's positive. He wants to be better. He wants to, this, people forget, all right? People forget that Amari came to the Knicks first. People forget that this guy, he was up for MVP halfway through that season when he came.
And I thought he was the Knicks were on their way to being a really, really, really strong team when he was just there by himself. He was putting up crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Playing really well together. They were playing really well defensively. He was holding down the paint.
Right.
He was just playing with so much confidence, man. That's why I don't understand when Carmelo came. His confidence just kind of went out the door. Then injuries started happening.
Right.
But before Melo came, I mean, I was feeling sorry that Amari didn't come down to the Heat because I actually thought the Heat was going to get built with him and Dwayne Wade. Because nobody really saw LeBron James coming to the Heat. So that's what I was thinking that was going to be. I thought he was going to go to New York. And Amari was going to come to the Heat.
Well,
exactly what I thought.
Amari would have been a great fit for Miami. And look, not to knock Chris Bosh, but the type.
That's what I was thinking too. He is a Miami Heat forward.
Yeah.
Tough, controls the paint.
He's from the area. He's from Florida too. He's from Florida.
Yeah. His AAU we play against. My son used to play against his AAU team. Each one teach one.
Look,
every year.
The difference.
I see him every summer at Carlos Boozer's kid's birthday party. Every year he's look healthier. He's getting healthier. Talk to him this year. He said he's getting healthy. His knee is feeling better. Like that's what I'm saying. The guy about the draft pick, the number 1 draft pick. That guy, not number 1 draft pick. The guy from Kentucky who got injured. It's going to take him a couple of years to recover from that injury. The same thing Amari said. Hey, it's taking him a while to get that strength back and the trust back in that knee. And I think this year you're going to see a completely different Amari Stoudemire. You'll see.
I really hope so, but that was the knock on initially bringing him in. The Knicks were the only team to actually give him the full $100 million uninsured. Uninsured. Yeah. I mean, that's a big risk. And you know what? If they didn't have Carmelo Anthony right now, would Amari be healthy? Would he even be playing? And you're left with just a bunch of guys on the court. Not a bunch of guys, but you're not. I don't think you're at the same level. A guy who's playing MVP level. You take an MVP level guy off a team because of an injury. I mean, it's a big risk. And I think having Carmelo, the Knicks are lucky because Amari may not have even made the playoffs if they didn't make that trade because Amari would have been playing. He wouldn't have been playing. He would have been on the floor. But I like Amari. I like what he stands for. I like that he was brave to come to New York and kind of pick the team up on his back and be a leader. You know, Steve Nash was the leader in Phoenix. He kind of came to the Knicks as a leader, and he was a good leader. I liked Amari. I still have a lot of respect for Amari Stoudemire, and I really hope he gets it together with the Knicks. I hope he wins in New York and not somewhere else, to be honest with you. But, I think, and not to knock Chris Bosh, him and LeBron would be incredible together because LeBron demands a double team. I mean, not that Amari doesn't, but LeBron demands a double team, and he finds his teammates. He puts Amari in the right spots. Carmelo is not LeBron James, okay?
No.
Never will be. But, you know, Carmelo's a good scorer. He's able to carry. He's the guy, okay? But LeBron, he doesn't necessarily care about being the guy.
No.
So
but see, what he does is he picks his spots. See what I'm saying? That's why I like LeBron James. He picks his spot. Some games he comes out and he gets his teammates involved. See what I'm saying? When you have your team, there's going to be a time in the game where you're going to need your teammates.
Right.
You're going to need them.
Right.
So I've seen LeBron come down and he had a clear dunk and he would get the ball back to Udonis Haslem, who's down there scraping and scrapping and doing all the dirty work and get him a free dunk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Melo, I feel like he's trying to get numbers. Okay.
Right.
I'm in New York. It's on my shoulders. I got to score 30 every night for us to win. I got to do my part. And he's not thinking. He's pretty much making it harder for himself. And all he has to do is share the ball. Okay, let me get Amari a little easy look. Okay, let me get Tyson Chandler some easy looks now so he can be motivated to get rebounds and block some shots later on in the game. Let him feel like he's part of the game. Because I know, just like we know, sitting watching the TV, watching him play, you watching him every night, that Carmelo can get his shot off and create his own shot anytime he wants.
Well, I think, the difference is LeBron also, he very much trusts his teammates, and if they miss or if something doesn't go the way it should have gone, he immediately gets on them. See, Melo, he doesn't trust his teammates. I think he kind of does his own thing because he doesn't have trust in them, and he's not the guy to yell at you. Melo doesn't yell at any of his team. He doesn't get in guys' face. You see, Mario Chalmers misses a shot or something. LeBron is right there telling him, "Really, you missed that? Really, wide open." He kind of just gets his teammates going. And Melo, I don't think he does that yet. I think Melo's more, I'm just going to carry the team.
Yeah.
So,
and that comes from the organization, and it comes from your head coach.
Right. 100%.
Eric Spoelstra is constantly teaching, trust your teammates. If you don't trust each other, it's not going to work.
Right.
So that comes from the coaching. I can't really put that all on Carmelo Anthony. If nobody if he's not hearing that on a daily basis in practice, in shoot-arounds, or in the games during timeouts, it's not going to register him. That's not going to be something that he's thinking about doing the game.
Right.
And I think that comes from the coach. If the head coach is constantly preaching that, like I'm hearing Eric Spoelstra constantly preach and trust your teammates, then it's not going to happen.
Well, for me, my knock with LeBron was he was too much he was getting his teammates too much involved. And when I saw him in Game 6 and 7 finally just kind of take over by himself and be that. I feel like sometimes you have to be Michael Jordan. You have to be the guy. Okay, as much as you want your teammates to be involved, you have to take over, make shots, and be that guy. And he did that. And I have a total different respect for him being the best player in basketball right now. For sure, he is.
Yeah. I think he earned a lot of people's respect this past season because it was a full season. They really won it because of him in the finals. I mean, he took over some games, man, that the Heat was like down, and he took them over.
Right.
The finals game, he took over. The Game 6, he took over. I mean, he just did an amazing job, and he deserved to be MVP, and that's why they're back-to-back champions because of him, because of him being the type of dominant player that he can be.
And now, getting back to the Knicks, getting together for a mini camp and all that. You've been to mini camps. You've just have a players workout, no coaches, nothing. Is that really effective? Does that help the chemistry?
That's what builds the trust. That's what they're doing. The good thing you said that, because that's what's going to build their trust. The more you spend time, the more you be around players, the more you play with them before training camp, the better you're gonna understand where to get that person the ball and and if you know all of those things, everything about the player, you're gonna put him in positions where he's gonna be successful. That was the thing about Pat Riley. He could always, once he saw what you could do, he would put you in a position where you could be successful. You could best help the team. And if you're in a situation where you're successful, then you're gonna build your confidence, and then when you have confidence, you're gonna play better. And if you play better, that means the team is gonna do better. So that's going to help the Knicks in the long run. I'm glad they're doing it. I think Brooklyn is also doing it with their players. Deron Williams called that same type of thing, and I hope that kind of spreads throughout the NBA, and a lot of guys will start doing it. Start playing pickup ball and pickup games and doing like little mini camps on their own and working out. Starting in July, like the earlier you started, because everybody's working out all summer, so you might as well work out with the guys that you're going to go to war with during the season.
Yeah. Wow. See that right there? That's what goes on in a minicamp. Now everybody knows. If you didn't know,
it's all about camaraderie. You're hanging out with guys. You after the workout, you're going out to eat. You're spending time getting to know guys. You're getting, you're playing with them in pickup games. You're playing with them doing drills. You're saying who know how to make shots. Who know how to make bank shots. You knowing their sweet spots. And players are also learning things about themselves, like what they need to do to help the team win. And that's what the minicamp does.
Now, I kind of want to segue back to us talking about the D-League, because I know you coached in the D-League.
Might be this year, too.
What's that?
I might be this year, too.
Yeah, and I hope so. That'd be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That means you got to get us tickets to the games and stuff. We have to be allowed in the locker rooms. We got to hang out with everybody. We got to be at these mini camps, all right? Like, I want in.
That's easy.
You got to see me shoot threes, all right? Kyle rips on me all the time, but he's never actually played against me. That's the truth. Okay. So I'm telling you, I have a sweet jump shot. I'm not kidding.
Okay. All right. I want to see.
Yeah.
We're gonna one day. We're gonna do a Talkin Hoopz live from a gym one day.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll play like a game of knockout, a game of horse, a game of 21, and then we'll have a scrimmage. It'll be me and you versus Kyle and, I don't know, some scrub. I guarantee you we win. I'm telling you. I'm money in the bank. All right?
Okay.
The bank is open on Sundays for me, too. Just letting you know.
Hey, I hope so.
All right. All right, no, but getting back to the D-League. So, guys making transitions, all right? You see, like, Will Bynum, okay, in Detroit. He was a D-League guy, and then he makes it into the NBA. Granted, he's not the top NBA player. He's not like, oh, my God, amazing. But he's a solid player, gets the job done, comes in, does what he has to do off the bench. What I really am curious about is how come guys don't – they can be so good. They can put up like 30 points a game. They can make the All-Star D-League team. And they get to the NBA, and it's just not there. Even with working in the D-League, like working with guys like you, working with coaches, and you see it's improvement. Guy goes from putting up 20 to 30 points a game in the D-League, gets back into the NBA, and is there for a brief stint before he's back with you guys or something. Like, it just doesn't work out. Why? Why is it so difficult making that transition?
Because those players are already on NBA rosters. They already, in every NBA roster team I played for, they already have those guys that they're going to go to do the scoring. When they bring you up from the CBA, you are not going to be the same scorer that you would in the D League. It's just not going to happen. You know, when you're in the D League, it's like you're trying to work on things and show the NBA things that you've improved on. If you didn't have a jump shot, you want to show that you have a jump shot. If you can't handle the ball, you're trying to show that you can handle the ball. It's exactly what it is. It's a development league. But when you get to the NBA basketball, you have to be a specialist in something. Just like when I scored big numbers in the CBA, you know, being a big man. But when I got to the league, I was an energy guy. That's what Pat Riley wanted me to do. Your job is to come in and bring energy to the game, make easy baskets, play good defense, no rotations, and rebound the ball. That's what we need you to do. We don't need you shooting threes. We don't need you shooting jump shots. We don't need you going and creating your own shot. You are out there to be on every fast break to get us easy baskets, rebound, and play defense, and bring energy to the game. That's what the NBA is. You have to specialize in something. Now, some teams you have an opportunity, you come in and you're a specialist, like Iguodala. I think he was a specialist when he came in. Then all of a sudden, everybody's gone. Allen Iverson's gone. Rodney Buford's gone. Those type of players are gone from Philly, and then all of a sudden you look up, okay, we got Iguodala, and he's ready to go. Same thing with Paul George. You know, everybody was talking about, was it Graham who got hurt? What's his name? Granger. Danny Granger. Danny Granger was like the man in Indiana, and Paul George was just kind of there, kind of like his Robin. Okay, then all of a sudden Danny Granger gets hurt. Now the whole team is about Paul George.
Right.
Yeah. It's just a transition. It depends on, you know, your opportunity and what team you play for, I feel like.
Well, you know, I think, you know, obviously you do a good job with guys in the D-League. You know who's going to – do you know right off the bat who's going to make – like who's to play in the NBA and just who's not? But you're obviously not going to tell them that, right? You don't –
Yeah, I give them an inkling that, hey, if you keep working and you keep improving on your game and you stay working hard, that's the key, you know. The NBA are looking for guys that work hard. If you work hard, because there's not a lot of guys, you know, the mentality of players now is that they expect in it. They don't want to earn. They don't want to earn their keep. You know, they expect them to start without working hard. You know, if you see a guy that's working hard in the D League and you know that guy's not making the amount of money that he could be making overseas or he could be making in the NBA, that's a guy that you kind of be like, hey, you just keep working, man, and your dream is going to come true.
Yeah.
You know.
And now you talk about working hard, playing hard, Neo, Akon. Yeah. The segment is here. It's time.
Okay. Funny time.
It's time.
Matching faces.
Matching. You could say that.
Your face look like my face.
Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Okay, NBA player lookalikes. Celebrities. They look like celebrities. They look like NBA players. We got 3 of them here right now. And we're gonna start. Speaking of Neo, Akon. How about Jared, Jack, and Neo?
Wow, yes.
Look at that.
They could be brothers.
Brothers, tell me. I secretly think that
Cousins
Neo
somewhere
is Jared Jack or vice versa. It's one or the other. You better see. We got to ask Jerry Stackhouse if Jared Jack knows how to sing or anything because, hey.
Yeah.
That'd be a celebrity stunt like crazy. That'd be amazing. Turns out it's Neo playing in Portland. Oh, wait, Jared Jackson, Cleveland. It's Neo playing in a Cleveland Cavs jersey this season. Who knew?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. All right.
Both
Kyle insisted we do this, though. I don't think this is the closest one, but he thinks Jason Biggs and Kurt Heinrich.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't see. I don't know. Just seeing, Jason Biggs.
I think it's more the haircut in this one.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I think it's the haircut in this one that's kind of making everybody be like, "Oh, they look alike," but they really don't look alike.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And this is my favorite. Okay. This is
my favorite. Yeah. This is heads on.
This is heads on. Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I think the guy's name is Garit.
Wow.
Dude. All right. Wow. I'm just saying. Okay.
His beard is better though.
Garit is from American Idol. Okay. I'm telling you, that's James Harden with the turban. Yeah. That is James Harden right there. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not. The truth is, he's on American Idol, and that's why he was doing those Foot Locker commercials with Steph Curry, singing the song and everything. That's why. Okay. That's the truth right there. Anyway, this guy Garit, he's supposed to be. He made it, I think, to like the third round in American Idol, and they finally cut him. But he was a pretty solid talent, but it was just enough. They had enough of him. But I'm telling you, I saw this guy. I'm like, that's James Harden. That is James Harden. Tell me that's not James Harden right there.
Wow. James Harden need to get his mustache a little thicker, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Then it'd be head on.
That's
head
crazy.
On. And Fareed need to go outside and stand in the Dubai sun to get some more sun. He'll be a little darker, and then it'll be like spot on. You couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah, and it looks he's got the little birthmark thing next to his nose. I don't think Harden has that, but still, I mean, that to me, that's like dead on. That's pretty close.
Yeah, James Harden and Jared Jack, man, those are too good.
Jack.
That was spot on. Yeah, spot on.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
I forget. We got next time when Kyle's on next week with us. We got to find out who we said Dirk Nowitzki looks like, because I couldn't find what he said. But I mean, this is that's crazy. And I thought I wanted Vin Baker, but I couldn't find anyone for Vin Baker. But that's
we gotta
insane.
get Vin Baker back out. We gotta bring Vin Baker out of retirement.
We gotta get him on the show.
I think we gotta find Vin Baker. Where are you, Vin Baker? You supposed to be listening and talking hoops. Come on, Vin Baker, we need you.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I just thought, I think it's crazy. The people that look alike. I remember there was a Yankee, Jabba Chamberlain. You know Jabba Chamberlain on the Yankees? Yeah. There's a guy in Philadelphia. Okay, it was a big news story. Some random guy in Philadelphia looks just like the guy. Just like Jabba Chamberlain. He was getting girls saying he was Jabba Chamberlain. He was getting free food. Like, what did you say? What we talked about earlier? Rich people, they get the free stuff and
you get everything free when you're rich.
Yeah, dude. This guy said this guy looks like Jabba Chamberlain. Says he's Jabba Chamberlain. He's getting the ladies. I think three girls slept with this guy just for him saying, because he looked just like Jabba Chamberlain. So finally, it comes back to him, and the guy makes an apology to Jabba Chamberlain. You know what he says? Sorry, I look like you, kid.
Wow.
And that's in Philadelphia, the Allen Iverson town. Jabba Chamberlain lookalike. Goes into bars, goes into strip clubs. He says he's Jabba Chamberlain. He's getting all the action. He's getting all that.
Free, getting girls.
Exactly.
Wow.
Free food, free cars, everything. Yeah. So, just goes to show you. So who knows? Like maybe Neo and Jared Jack. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm sure they both do pretty nice, but something tells me Neo makes a little bit more money than Jared Jack. I don't know what gives me that, but something just tells me.
Yeah, he writes a lot of songs, so he's getting a little bit more. He's getting a lot of points and credits off of.
Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard.
Hey. Yeah.
That's the song.
That's how you get it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But wrapping up the show here. Yeah, hey, we covered everything. Wow, we got through the entire show, Mark. We covered everything.
Did good.
Yeah,
good show.
Good stuff. Good stuff tonight. Yeah. And shout out to Aaron McKee. Thanks again for calling in. A lot of fun with him. And we gotta get some Sixers on the show, man. We gotta get some Sixers on the show. We gotta get some guys. A lot of good stuff happening. Talkin Hoopz, talkinhoops.com. A lot of big stuff going on for us. NBRPA Miami chapter, the National Basketball Retired Players Association. Check them out. Great organization, a lot of good stuff. And it's a way for retired players to shed light on, some good stories. It's not all negative stuff.
Not all negative.
It's not all negative stuff. Really isn't.
It's like we know.
Yep. Exactly. but for AJ, for Mark Strickland, for the whole NBRPA Miami chapter, for everybody. Until next time, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll catch you guys on the rebound. AI.
Until Talkin Hoops comes back into play, stay connected by getting at us on iTunes. Keep up to date with all the latest basketball news and rumors and check out all our shows by logging on to talkinghoops.com.
Catch you on the rebound.